So today I wanted to talk about a very, very important topic, and that is expectation versus reality. Now, you're going to run into this paradigm every step of the way in your journey, from the moment you implant to the moment that you explant. I know for me, personally, my expectations about how my experience was going to go with my implants was very different from the reality of it. I think I could probably speak to most of us for that if you're on this page and watching this video. It's important to note that you have to hold that same mindset now with what you know about surgery and the possibilities of risks that you weren't informed of. You need to carry that over even to your explant surgery. Something that I see a lot in our community that comes up is is a lot of this expectation versus reality. I think a lot of people, they go in to their explant surgery expecting to have instant relief, a perfect en bloc capsulectomy, and to just get their lives back immediately. And that's not always the case. With myself personally, and if you've watched any of my previous videos, you will see that I was one of the very fortunate ones who did experience an instant relief of the majority of my symptoms. I didn't expect it to be like that. In fact, I had no expectations because I didn't want to be disappointed because of how traumatic my experience with implants was and how it was nothing like I expected. So I learned that lesson the hard way. But I also only had my implants just under 8 months. So I caught BII very quickly, and I think that also contributed with how quickly I experienced a relief of my symptoms. I also am releasing expectations around how I will continue to heal. I am prepared to experience detox waves, and even over the last few days, I have had a few little things kind of come and go, and I'm just allowing my body to have the space and time it needs to heal. It's been through so much. There's going to be toxins that still need to move and be released through my body, and that's going to come out in very different ways because it's the first time that my body's had to go through this. So I am going to learn as I go as well. And I think everybody needs to hold that same mindset moving forward with their own explant surgery. I'm going to keep coming back to expectation versus reality. So even around implants, I think everybody wants to have this clear cut, well, this is what BII looks like. So if it doesn't look like that, then I don't have it, I'm fine. No. BII is a very unique illness in the sense that it affects everyone very differently. When it comes on, how it comes on, the symptoms that you experience, when you experience them, it's going to be across the board different for everyone, but also the same. And I know that sounds very confusing, but it's where you're going to really have to learn to listen to your body. Now, with BII, the symptoms don't all come on at once for everyone. Some of them, they do. For me, my experience with it was very quick. I got my implants and my health started to deteriorate very, very quickly. By October, my symptoms were stacking, and there was no denying that I was dealing with this at that point. Some women, they have their implants for 10 years before they have a noticeable stacking of symptoms, or it isn't maybe until their implants rupture that they start to experience these symptoms, or it isn't until they go through some other traumatic event on their body, injury or illness that triggers BII, or for some women, it's when they go through pregnancy, and then after their pregnancy, they start to experience these symptoms. So we don't fully know the pattern here yet, but my personal belief system is that implants will affect you no matter who you are. How and when is just entirely dependent on your body. So just something to keep in mind, that this experience is all about learning to listen to your body because it speaks to you. And if that might be a little foo-foo for some people, but it is speaking to you. It is telling you what it needs, and it's saying, hey, listen, there's something wrong here. That can just be simply, you might just have brain fog. You might just be a little confused, but that might just happen over time so slowly that it becomes your new normal, that being sick is just how you start to function in the world. You just recognize the woman in the mirror as yourself, when in reality it's not. It's not who you have the potential to be. It's not who you once were. But you start to forget who that person was. And it isn't until you reclaim your life and your health that you remember who you really are. And that's been my personal experience. When I woke up from my explant surgery, I was just blown away. It's been overwhelming. I'm still overwhelmed with emotion through this whole experience. Last night I spent probably an hour just crying in my living room with gratitude. In the morning I hop up and I run to the mirror just to make sure that I can still see the white of my eyes. It's a very surreal experience when you come through it on the other side. Your experience with BII is going to be different from someone else's, although we will see commonalities between each other. We will be able to share our stories and be like, yes, I went through that. Maybe it looked more like this. Maybe this autoimmune disease was triggered in me and not that one. Or you can have a plethora of them, which is unfortunate, but that is the way that it can go. And the longer that you have your implants, the more at risk you are of developing multiple autoimmune diseases, of developing more than, a handful of symptoms. There's up to 80 plus symptoms and diagnoses that you can get from this particular illness. So it could just look like so many different things. Now, when it comes to choosing your surgeon, this is also a very important subject matter when it comes to expectation versus reality. So I can't drive home enough, and if you take away anything from this video, please let it be this. It is that your health is your responsibility. Your health is your responsibility. You have to be your own advocate. Now, we're very lucky to have such a strong, inspiring, and loving community of women here who are willing to help each other out, but we cannot hold each other responsible for being the ones to give each other the answers, because your body is going to go through this in its own way. It has its own needs. It's going to be reacting to these implants in its own way, and it will heal in its own way. And when you're choosing your surgeon, you are the one hiring them. You're doing the interviewing. I think when it comes to the medical community, we've been so conditioned to believe that they're in a position to keep us safe. And they are. They take an oath to honor that responsibility. But they're human beings nonetheless. And they're always going to be dancing with the ego. They're always going to be having some level of looking out for themselves, and it's a business. At the end of the day, this is how these people make their livelihood. They have something to sell to you, and that's not to say that all these people or any of them are bad people. They're just human beings, and you're a human being that needs to be responsible for your health, and that requires you to do your research, to pick a surgeon that resonates with you, and to ask the appropriate questions when going into your explant consultation. Now, it's paramount that you're speaking to someone who has experience. Unfortunately, that might mean that you have to travel to do that. And that can be very frustrating and an extra burden that you don't want to be taking on when you're already dealing with so much around your health and around finances and all the things that comes with this journey. But the last thing you want is to go see a surgeon who doesn't have experience in doing this procedure and end up worse off than when you went in to see them. So you're looking for someone who offers a commitment to doing a full en-bloc capsulectomy. That is when the capsule and the implant is removed altogether without any tears. The implant and the capsule's intact. That is the ideal goal. That's what you're shooting for. And but that can never be promised to you. So if you are seeing a surgeon that is promising that to you, that's maybe something you should just note. I'm not saying it's a red flag, but take note of it. You want a surgeon who wants to make that commitment to you, but is very upfront with you and saying that I may not be able to do that. But what I will be looking to do no matter what is a full capsulectomy. And that's when sometimes there might be tears in the capsule. The capsule around the implant might be thin, or it might have adhered to your rib cage or different aspects of your body. I'm not a surgeon, so please, I'm doing my best here. But they still remove the capsule completely, which is so important, because if any of the capsule is left behind, though the capsule itself has the toxins from the implant in it, and that can continue to make you sick. And so you want that removed. Now, a capsulectomy is option number 3 when that's en bloc or full capsulectomy was just not possible, because maybe some of the capsule was adhered to or too close to some vital organs, and unfortunately sometimes it does get left behind. They do their best to remove all of it, but sometimes it's just the luck of the draw. You know, there's no surgeon who can promise you anything, because until they have you on that surgery table and they actually see what they're dealing with, they don't know the state of the capsule. They don't know if your implant is ruptured. It's an unpopular opinion and a hard truth to this procedure. And I think a lot of women, they get really upset when other surgeons are being suggested within our community who can't guarantee an en bloc, or that maybe they had their surgery by that surgeon and they didn't get the results that they wanted. Well, it's a case-by-case basis here, and there's just no guarantee across the board. I'm sorry to say it, but that's the truth. And that's why it's so important that you do your research. Again, it is your responsibility, your health. So you need to make sure you're picking a surgeon that you trust and feel safe with and confident with, that they're going to do the best that they can for you. And that's all that they can promise you at the end of the day, is that they will do their best. And I know that might not be enough for a lot of us out there, but it has to be, because no matter what, you're going to be better off with those things out of your body. It breaks my heart when I hear stories about how badly these surgeries can go wrong, or that when there is capsule left inside of someone's body and they just continue to get sick. You have to have faith that and trust that your body will heal. And even just that mindset, you would be amazed at how powerful the mind is when you marry it with the body and its ability to heal itself. So you have to trust in all of it, really. It is a big leap of faith, and that is why it's so scary. But whatever you decide to do, that it's going to be better on the other side of this all. That if your implants are making you sick, there's no chance of you healing. There's no opportunity for you to get better as long as those things are inside your body. It has to come out in order for your body to have any fighting chance of recovering from breast implant illness. That is the hard truth. But you have to do your due diligence. You have to take the time to find a surgeon that is right for you. And you have to have compassion and forgiveness for yourself along the way, and for the people who are performing these procedures. Again, they're humans who are learning as well. This is a relatively new surgery. Not everybody is doing it. It is much easier to find someone to put implants into you than it is to take them out. As another thing that is tough to learn along this way is when you do start looking, you feel shocked at first that why is this so hard to find someone who can do this? We're looking to the leading experts and specialists in this to share within the surgical community, to continue to spread awareness around this and educate other doctors and surgeons, because many of them still don't even know about breast implant illness. Many of them still believe it is not a real thing. So still a journey that we're all on. Yes, even in your healing process, I put a video up the other day of me having my drains removed. It was a really painless, effortless experience for me personally. I'm hearing from other women that's not always the case for them. So keep an open mind to every step of the way. trust and love your body, forgive yourself, know that your mindset is equally as important as everything else as you step into this journey, and trust yourself that you got this, that you're strong enough to go on this journey, and that you will come out the other side. And I hope that this video served you in some way, and so much love to you all. I'll talk to you soon.